प्रेम से समापति महादेव की जय, वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय. Let us all stand as we now join in beautiful arati. Check one. Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Saraswatyaya Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namo Namaha. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Trambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanan Mrityurmokshayamamritata. Brahma Vishnu Sadashiva Ardange Dhara. Brahma Vishnu Sadashiva Ardange Dhara. Jai Shiva Kara Har Shiva Omkara. Jai Shiva Omkara Har Shiva Omkara. Jai Shiva Omkara Baba Har Shiva Omkara. Jai Shiva Omkara Baba Har Shiva Omkara. Om Namah Shivaya. Ekanana Chaturanana Panchanana Raje. O Ekanana Chaturanana Panchanana Raje. Ankasana Garudasana Vishwahana Saje. Om Hara 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 Mahadev. Om Hara 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 Mahadev. Satyam Shivam Sundaram. Satyam Shivam Sundaram. Dhobhuj char chaturabhuj dasabhuj te sohi. Om Namah Shivaya. Dhobhuj char chaturabhuj dasabhuj te sohi. Tino rupa niragata tribhuvana jana mohi. Om Hara 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 Mahadev. 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 समापति महादेव की जय, वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की। आसने जी सब लोग तरसाल देकर सीट As we begin this beautiful night once more, Swagatam, Namaskar Karta Hu Sab Log. To all devotees who've come from far and near to join on this beautiful night, this divine night, where we praise Mahadev, Lord Shankar Bholenath. On this day that is called Guruvar, we prostrate to Lord Shiva. Swagatam, a cordial welcome to all, to the members of my wonderful group, Bhagwan's blessings to them. To all those who tuned in via Facebook, wherever you are in the world, taking this moment to join in, special welcome to our Yagna. For tonight, we're about to praise Mahadev, Lord Shiva. We're about to go into the golden pages of the Mahashiva Puran, but at this time, let us all sit upright. Let us close our eyes and forget the entire world, as we're about to now join in beautiful invocation, prayer and mantras. As we begin with Omkara 3 times, we blend our voices. Om. Vakratunda Mahakaya Suryakote Samaprabha Nirvighanam Kurume Deva Sarvakajeshu Sarvada Ya Devi Sarvabhuteshu Durga Rupena Sanstita Namastasya, 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 Namo Namaha Ya Devi Sarvabhuteshu Lakshmi Rupena Sanstita Namastasya, 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 Namo Namaha Ya Devi Sarvabhuteshu Saraswati Rupena Sanstita Namastasya, 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 Namo Namaha Namastasya, 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 Namo Namaha Manopodya Hankara Chittaninaham Nacha Srotraje Hue Nacha Grana Netri Nacha Vyoma Bhumirna Tejo Navayo Chidanandarupa Shivoham Shivoham Chidanandarupa Shivoham Shivoham Nacha prana sangyo na vaipanjavaya Nava saptadaturna vapanchakosham Navakpanipadam chopastapayo Chidanandarupa Shivoham Shivoham Chidanandarupa Shivoham Shivoham Namami Shanishana Nirvana Rupam Vibhum Vyapakam Brahma Veda Swarupam निजं निर्गुणं निर्विकल्पं निरीहं चिदाकाशमाकाशवासं भजेऽहम् निराकारमोङ्कारमूलं तुरेयम् गिराज्ञानगोटीतमीशं गिरीशं करालं महाकालं कालं कृपालं गुणगार संसारपारं नतोऽहम्. As we pray to our Lord Mahadev, Lord Shiva, all together with one voice, we blend our voices as we sing for Mahadev. Hara Hara Jai Shankara Om Hara 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 Jai Shankara Om Hara Hara. एक बार और हर हर जय शंकर ओम हर हर ओम नमः शिवाय ओम नमः शिवाय ओम नमः शिवाय. Once more tonight, Lord Shiva had taken the 11th form and he became Lord Hanumanji. Tonight once more we will praise Mahavir Swami through beautiful 40 verses of the Sri Hanuman Chalisa. Bhoot pisach nikat nahi aave, Mahavir jab naam sunave. It is said wherever his name is called and whenever it is called, he will come, he will be there, he will protect us, he will guide us. He will allow us to rise from all the temptations of the world. Tonight we praise our Lord. Ulyandya sindhu salilam salilam yah shokavahi janakatmajaya ajanate neva dadahalanka namamitam pranjanya jaleyam मनोजवं मारुततुल्यवेगं जितेन्द्रियं बुद्धिमतां वरिष्ठं वातात्मजं वानरयुक्तमोक्तं श्रीरामदूतं शरणं प्रपद्ये. ॐ श्री हनुमते नमः. ॐ श्री हनुमते नमः. ॐ श्री हनुमते नमः. As we begin Sri Hanuman Chalisa, we sing tonight. Shri Guru Charana Saroja Raja Nijamana Mukura Sudha Varna Raghuvara Vimala Jasu Jodaya Kupalaja Buddhihina Tanu Janike Sumirao Pavana Kumar Bala Buddhi Vidya Dev Mohi Harahu Kalesha Vikar Bhakta Hitakari Rama Bhakta Hitakari Bhakta Hitakari Rama Bhakta Hitakari. Are aise hamare Ram Bhakta Hitakari, aise hamare Ram Bhakta Hitakari. Are aise hamare Ram Bhakta Hitakari, aise hamare Ram Bhakta Hitakari. Jai Hanuman Gyan Gun Sagar, Jai Kapesh Tihulota Udagar, Ramaduta Tulsa Baladhama, Adani Putra Pavan Sukhanama, Mahavira Vikaram Ajarangi, Umati Nivar Sumati Kesan, Kadjana Varana Viraj Suvesa, Anana Kundala Kunjata Kesan, Shatavadra Dwaja Viraja, Kandhe Munja Jane Vasad, गुनी अति चातुर राम काज करिबे को आतुर जाबु चरित्र सुनिबे को रसिया राम लखन सीता मन बसिया अरे ऐसे हमरे राम भक्त हितकारी ऐसे हमरे राम भक्त ऐसे सूक्ष्म रूप धरि सिय दिखावा गत रूप धरि लंक जरा भीम रूप धरि असुर संहारे रामचंद्र के काज सवार लाए सजीवन लखन जियाए श्री रघुवीर हर सिर लाय रघुपति कीन्ही बहुत बड़ाई तुम मम प्रिय भरत समभाई सहस बदन तुम रोज सगावे सगै श्रीपति कंठ लगावे जनकादिक ब्रह्मा के मुनीषा शारद सदहि यम कुलीर दिगपाल जहाते कवि को विद गए सकले कहाते तुमो पुकार सुग्रीव के नाम राम में लाया राजा पर देर अरे ऐसे हमरे राम भक्त हितकारी ऐसे हमरे राम भक्त ऐसे जय श्री राम। तुमरो मंत्र विभीषण माना लंकेश्वर भय सब जग जान युग सहस योजन पर भानु मिल काही मधुर फल जान प्रभु मोद्रिका मिल मुख माय जल दिलांग गए अचर जनाय दुर्गम काज जगत के देते सुमा अनुग्रह तुम्हारे देते राम द्वारे तुम रखवारे होत न आज्ञा बिन पैसारे सब सुकला है तुम्हारे शरणा तुम रक्षक का हो तो धरण आपन तीर समारो आप तीनों लोक हाक देखा है भूत पिशाच निकट नहीं आवे महावीर जब नाम सुनावे ऐसे हमरे राम भक्त हितकारी ऐसे हमरे राम भक्त हित ओम श्री हनुमते नमः। नासै रोग हरै सब पीरा जपत निरंतर हनुमत वीर संकट ते हनुमान छुड़ावै मन क्रम वचन ज्ञान जो लाभ सब पर राम तपस्वी राजा जिनके काज सकल तुम साज और मनोरथ जो कोई लावै तुई अमित जीवन फल पाव चारों युग प्रताप तुम्हारा है प्रसिद्ध जगत उजियार साधु संत के तुम रखवारे असुर निकंदन राम दुलार अष्ट सिद्धि नव निधि के दाता सबर दीन जानकी माता राम रसायन तुम्हारे पासा सदा रहो रघुपति के दासा हरे ऐसे हमरे राम भक्त हितकारी ऐसे हमरे राम भक्त तुम्हारे भजन राम को पावे जन्म जन्म के दुख बिसरावे अंत काल रघुवरपुर जाए जहाँ जन्म हरि भक्त कहाय और देवता चित्त न डरे हनुमत से सर्व सुख करे संकट कटे मिटे सब पीरा जो सुमिरय हनुमत बलबीरा जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई कृपा करो गुरुदेव की नाय दुष्ट बार पाठ कर कोई कही बंदी मास होय जो यहाँ पर हनुमान चालीसा कोई सिद्धि साधे गौरी सा तुलसीदास सदा ऐसे हमरे राम भक्त हितकारी, 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 ऐसे हमरे राम। पवन तनय संकट हरण मंगल मूर्तिरो, राम लखन सीता सहित हृदय बसो सुरभो। पवन सुत हनुमान की जय। भगवान, after the first night, what did we say? How do you say Jai? Jai means what? Victory. When people celebrate a victory, when people win something, they don't say Jai. They shout at the top of their voices, not so? Pavan Sutta Hanuman ki, Bajrangbali ki. Very nice. Tonight, my dear friends, as we begin this beautiful night in prayer and in devotion, we are about to praise our Lord, who is none other than Shankar Bholinath, Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva, my friends, being the embodiment of peace, it is said in the world that we live in today, we can achieve and we can have so many things in the world, and if you can't have what we call eternal peace, then what do you really have? We can have money, we can have wealth, we can have a big house, we can have the best car, we can have everything that we can think about. But at the end of the day, if you lie down to sleep and you can't feel a peace of mind and understanding, what do you really have? Today, tonight, we are about to join in the golden pages of Mahashiva Puran, where Lord Shiva shows the world his strength and his devotion. There's a difference with Lord Shiva compared to all the other gods. It says, Sham Mangalam Karoti Iti Shiva in Sanskrit, according to Shiva Sutra. Lord Shiva, Sham Mangalam Karoti is all auspiciousness. He is all auspicious. And when you worship Mahadev, unlike the different deities, he is ready to give you the greatest and the best blessing in the world under one condition. Lord Krishna in Bhagavad Gita and in Bhagavatam, he says to the world that we have the 4 stages of the universe. We have the age of Sat Yuga. Which is second age? After Sat Yuga was what? Anybody know? So let me mix them up. We have Kali Yuga, we have Dwapar Yuga, we have Sat Yuga, we have Treta Yuga. Which came first? Sat Yuga. Which one came second? Let me hear it a little loud. What do you call me? The second is Treta Yuga. The third is Dwapar or Abhi, with now Kali Yuga. In the age of Kali Yuga that we are in, from the first age coming down to the last, in the first age of Sat Yuga, it is said everybody, they were divine people. Think about the color white that represents purity. In the first age of Sat Yuga, everybody wore white. Their aura, their complexion, their energy, everything was white, pure, divine. People never get angry. People never argue. Anybody here get angry? Put up the hands, let me see. Oh, Bhagavan. We got to do a Shanti Puja tomorrow and invite you all to come. People never argued or fight and so on. The first age of Sat Yuga was a divine age. Coming close to the end of Sat Yuga, Treta Yuga was about to begin. And in that age, which God took manifestation? Which God in Treta Yuga took the manifestation to come and save all of us? Shri Ram Jai Rama. Bolo? Jaya. Kya baat? Shri Ram Jai Jaya Jaya. And in the age of Dwapar Yuga, the third age, who came? Shri Krishna Govinda Hare Murare He Nath Narayana Vasudeva. It is said through these periods and these ages, the last age or the third age before this Kali Yuga was Dwapar Yuga. Bhagavan Shri Krishna was so compassionate to the world, he said that while people were divine and dedicated to God in the first age, In the second age, they started to become agitated and angry, and they started to fight and have problems. So Prabhu Ram had to come. Devotees in the age of the second age and the first age, if you wanted God to come in your life, if you wanted God to give you a miracle in the age of Satyuga or Treta Yuga, somebody probably would have had to go to a mountain and stand up on one foot for maybe 1,000 years. And if God was satisfied with your devotion, then Bhagwan would have manifested and given you a boon or a gift. In the age of Treta Yuga, the second age, Prabhu, he decided to become a little lenient. He said in the third age, which is Dwapar Yuga, if devotees can take a moment to just sit down by themselves and pray and dedicate themselves to God, I will come in their life and I will bless them with a miracle. And then Bhagwan Krishna realized that even in the third age, it is hard to find people now to pray. So he said in the last age, which is now, which is in Kali Yuga, if you find it upon yourself, anybody who is willing just to chant Ram once, or Krishna just once, I bless them. In the last age, Shri Krishna says, I will become lenient. I will be the one who will charm the hearts of everyone who listens to me. I will blow the flute, the basudi, and I will charm their hearts. Shri Krishna says, you come to me and I will be compassionate. The difference now, Lord Shiva is not like Lord Krishna. Lord Shiva says, when it comes to prayer, I mean business. There are rules and regulations. I'm not lenient like Bhagwan Krishna. I won't give in. I won't give in and out and here and there to make sure that you get your blessing. You have to work hard and I will test you. And if you pass the test, you will achieve the heights of salvation. But you will have to undergo the tests of the world in order to achieve me. The difference with the different deities, they were compassionate. But Lord Shiva, Sham Mangalam Karoti Iti Shiva, he will not bend. If you want Lord Shiva to bless you with peace and happiness and success, you have to really want it. In Sanskrit, there's a word called mumukshutvam. You must have a burning desire, that wanting, that burning, wanting desire for Lord Shiva to be in your life. And then and only then, Lord Shiva will manifest. As we're about to join in the golden pages of Mahashivapuran, we're about to pray to Prabhu Shankar Bholinath. And while we worship Lord Shiva, let us all sing together. Chandrasekharaya Namo Chandrasekharaya Namo Gangadharaya Namo Gangadharaya Namo Chandrasekharaya Namo Chandrasekharaya Namo Gangadharaya Namo Gangadharaya Namo. Hari! Everybody, let us start. Om Namah Shivaya. Har Har Mahadev. So Lord Shiva means business. It means that you can't just sit here tonight. Tonight is the night of Lord Shiva. Don't just fold the arms. Don't prop the chin. Don't just sit there. Don't just be there. But tonight is an awakening night of blessings of Mahadev. And how will you get it? You must take part like this. Everybody bolo. Om Namah Shivaya. Chandrasekharaya Namo Shivaya Namo Hara Hara Haraya Namo Hara Hara Haraya Namo Gangadharaya Namo Gangadharaya Namo Chandrasekharaya Namo Chandrasekharaya Namo Gangadharaya Namo Gangadharaya Namo Gangadharaya Namo Gangadharaya Namo Om Namah Shivaya Namo Om Namah Shivaya Namo Hara Hara Haraya Namo Hara Hara Haraya Namo Shiva Shiva Shivaya Namo Shiva Shiva Shivaya Namo Gangadharaya Namo. Everybody all together as we praise Mahadev. Trambakam yajamahe sugandhim urvarukameva mrityormukshiya. Om Vrindavan mein Hari Lal ki. No. It was different before. Umapati Mahadeva ki. Very nice. Just remember, we travel everywhere, and tonight devotees around the world are looking at us. And when they hear all the devotees in this beautiful mandir in St. Martin, they're going to say, wait, now, for them kya sing, boy? We have to show them. Pauna Sudha Hanuman ki. Beautiful. Tonight, as we join in the golden pages of our scripture, we speak of Lord Shiva's blessing. Lord Shiva sits in Kailash Parvat, and he sits next to his consort, who's Parvati Devi. And they look down on the earth one day. Devi Mata is sitting next to her Lord, and she nudges Lord Shiva, Prabhu, dekho na, look down there. Look at the world. Look at how people are living. Look at how people's lifestyles are. For example, in one part of the world, you see people happy and comfortable. You see people laughing and having a good time. And in some other parts of the world, you see people crying. You know a song like that? A song like this goes so. Koi roye, koi gaye, koi roye, koi gaye, kaisa tera sansar, Malik, kaisa tera. Koi roye, some people cry. Koi gaye, some people sing and laugh. But while the world has pairs of opposites, some crying on one end and some laughing on the other, kaisa tera sansar, such is the world. Have you ever heard people say you mustn't laugh too much? After too much laughter is what? Yeah. After too much of laughter, there's tears, there's crying. They always say don't be too happy. Today in our scripture, Lord Shiva, he's looking down while his Dulahin, Parvati Devi, says, Prabhu, look down on the earth and see what is taking place. And while he looks on the earth, he sees a woman rather. This woman is a bhakta of Mahadev. And while she prays to Lord Shiva all the time, Prabhu Shankar Bholenath, he's looking at the manner in which she's praying, and it is said, Parvati Devi says, aren't you satisfied by now with the way she is praying and by the manner in which she's praying? Why don't you bless her? Why don't you give her a gift or a boon or something that is auspicious, because she's praying to you so much and so often? Let me ask you this question. Do you think that you have prayed so much that God can come down and give you a miracle? Do you think God is satisfied with the way you pray? I don't want to tell you, raise your hands. You think of it in your mind. Do you think tonight when you sit here, God is satisfied with the way you pray? And if you think that maybe yes, no problem, keep it up. And if you think that you have shortcomings and you think you need to be better or to do better when it comes to prayers and religious activities, then you know what to do. It doesn't take you to go to probably the mandir or a yagya or go to a grand spiritual function, but you can sit in your home and you one-to-one with Prabhu can connect. That is all it takes to elevate your spirituality. Tonight, Lord Shiva looks at this woman on the earth and she's praying to him. She loves Mahadev. She loves Lord Shiva. She will sit and she will do her worship. She will dedicate herself to Shambhu. And while she prays to Shambhu Bholinath, Lord Shiva sees her and he says in his mind, he says to Devi Mata, he says, Devi, I look at her and yes, I am satisfied with the way she's praying. But at the same time, while I'm satisfied with her, I think I need to see more. I just mentioned Lord Krishna may be lenient. Lord Shiva is not. Devi says, but look how much she's praying. Why don't you bless her? Have you ever reached a point in your life where you're praying and you're giving your all and you realize I'm giving so much, but yet I'm not getting the answers that I want? I'm not getting the miracles that I want. I'm not getting the success that I'm looking forward for. When you think that things are not going your way and you're praying and you're expecting and you're waiting and it's not coming your way, don't get disappointed. Pray harder. Sometimes you're just close to that breakthrough. You're just close to seeing everything happening, and then we decide to give up. She sits there and she prays to Mahadev. And while she's praying to Lord Shambhu, Lord Shiva says to Parvati Devi, I'm not ready to bless her. Let her pray more. And Devi says, but look at her. And Lord Shiva looks down, and while she's praying, one day she sits by her lingam in her home. And while she's sitting by the lingam, she's about to make an offering of jal on top of the lingam. And she's praising Mahadev like this. Samay ekta Raja gabole Jalatal nabhame madhur se bole. Everybody, Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om. Everybody loudly. Namah. Om. Umapati Mahadeva ki. We sing for Lord Shiva tonight. Samay ekta Raja gabole Jalatal nabhame madhur se bhove. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Har Har Mahadev. Everybody, let me see the hands tonight. जग के दुख संताप पर मनवा जब तुझको कर पाए। मोह माया के जूते बंधन जब तुझको कर पाए। जपना मुख से होले होले बोलो ओम नमः। Very hands tonight. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om तक मोही सच्चा सुख है, क्या लेना चल बन से। पतित पावन नाम है उसके नाम है जल से। जीवन के चदरिया बोले ओ नमः शिवाय, ओ नमः शिवाय, ओ नमः शिवाय, ओ नमः शिवाय। जल तल नभ में मधुर से बोले ओ नमः शिवाय, ओ नमः शिवाय। प्रेम से समापति महादेव की। It is said this woman in the village in which she lived, she had loved Lord Shiva so much that everything that she would have done, she would have always done it in the name of Lord Shiva. She had two pets. She had a bird and she had a monkey. And with the two pets that she had, she would have taken now the Rudraksha. You all know the Rudraksha bead? It is bead of Lord Shiva. She would have taken the Rudraksha bead and a mala of Rudraksha, and she would have placed one around the neck of the monkey. She would have placed one around the neck of the bird, and she would have pulled them together and she would have kept them. Every time she would pray to Lord Shiva. Whenever she sits to worship the lingam, the monkey will be there and the bird will be there. And she will chant and she will sing and she will look at them. And while she's singing and chanting and clapping, and from time to time, the monkey will dance. The bird will try to imitate. The bird will start making noise. The bird will start moving about. It is said she would sit down and with all dedication and humility in her heart, she will pray to God. When we sit to pray to God, we must learn to forget the whole world. Almost every yagya and satsang I begin by saying, well, tonight, let us forget the whole world as we're about to begin. You listen to my introduction every time. Why? Because when you sit here, you should forget everything else on the outside. Many people sit to pray, and while they're sitting to pray, their mind is corrupted with everything else outside rather than what is on the inside. We must sit and look at the gods, look at the murtis. You must feel the energy. We must forget about your troubles and your problems. Leave it in the hands of God. God is in charge. When we try to hold on to our problems, we can't fix it. But if we release and let go for God, then Bhagwan will take care of everything. She sits to pray and she's dancing with the monkey and with the bird. And she's chanting for Lord Shiva, Om Namah Shivaya. And while she's chanting, Parvati Devi above says, Mahadev, look how they're dancing and having a good time. Why don't you bless your devotee? That's your devotee. Are you waiting for her to get tired and fed up and say, you know what? Lord Shiva is not blessing, so let's go to a different deity, a different god. And Lord Shiva says, okay, since you insist, let me do what I must. Lord Shiva gets up from Kailash Parvat. He's about to descend to the earth. But he's not going to bless her. He's going to test her. Lord Shiva and the gods will test you. One of the most common things I always see is when you're having a puja or a yagya, on that day, that is the day you find something is happening and everybody having an argument. Is that true? Yeah. The day you decide to prepare for a puja, a jandi, a yagya, that day or the day before you say, you know what, tomorrow everything is in place. I'm going to have a good day. Tomorrow is my jandi. Tomorrow is my puja. And the minute you wake up, something happens. You have some argument, some tension. Somebody is fighting somebody. And when you sit to pray, your mind is everywhere else except by Bhagwan. God tests your faith. God tests your mind. Are you strong enough when you do your devotion? There was one specific deity, one of the most powerful deity. It is said when he wanted to focus his mind and his thoughts, he had to take a moment and to be reminded. Are we supposed to be reminded every time of the power of our Lord and our prayer? Have you ever heard prayer moves what? Prayer moves what? Which one on the mountain? One it is? Yes, mountains of troubles and problems. Who had to be reminded in order to remove the problems and the mountains? Which God holds the mountain? You all don't know which God holds the mountain? Right in front of you. चीर के चाहती बोले अपने पवन पुत्र हनुमान बोलो पावन पुत्र हनुमान मेरे मन में बसे है राम मेरे तन में बसे है राम. How to remove the troubles of your life? मेरे मन में बसे है राम मेरे तन में बसे. In order to be firm in your prayer and your devotion, constant repetition of God's name, constant chanting of God's name, constant thoughts of God in your life and in your mind. Put God in everything that you do. Allow God to be part of every activity that you perform on a daily basis. Mere man mein base hai Ram. Allow the mind to keep chanting the name of God. Aur mere tan mein, allow the body to always be engrossed by the chanting of the Lord. It is said, Lord Hanumanji, every pore in his end would chant Jai Shri Ram because he had loved Prabhu so much. Today, Lord Shiva is about to test now this wonderful woman. And as he's about to test her, he descends to the earth where she is and he changes his form into somebody else. He changes his rupa into someone else. It is said he looks. There are 4 types of people or the caste of the world. There's Brahmana. The second is called what? Kshatriya. The third is called Vaishya. And the fourth, Shudra. Lord Shiva took a form like a Vaishya. And as he came down like Vaishya, in that personality, the Vaishyas are the types of people who love farming. They love to plant. They love to take care of the animals. They like to take care of produce. They like to make sure that the farms are well and the animals are taken care of. And they have a good hand at it. If they decide to plant something, it grows well. You'll ever try planting something and it grows well? How many people plant? You have a second question coming. Keep your hand like this. How many people plant? How many people, what you plant, it grows? I tell you, I'll never forget the day I tried to plant. And still the same way. My uncle, one day I went to his house and he was planting lettuce. And the lettuce was nice and big and I said, wow, how you do that? He said, well, I just go to the shop and I buy some little plants like this. And I put them and I plant them and in 2 weeks, nice big lettuce. And I say, wait, I want to try. He said, no problem, I'll teach you. I said, okay, how do I start? So he allowed me to get the little pots And he showed me how to put the dirt into all of them. And while I'm doing everything, he's doing the same thing. So I said, I want to make sure everything you do, tell me, because I wanted to get big just like yours. And he said, no problem. He allowed me to set everything just like he set it up. We planted everything on the same day and the same time. We fixed it equally. His was by his property and mine was by my house. It was just not too far away. Every day he goes to water, he calls me, hey, I'm going to water the lettuce. Go water your lettuce. I will go on water. The lettuce is outside in the sun, same sunlight. After 2 weeks, when I went by his lettuce plant, nice big lettuce like this. I said, right, check out mine. After 2 weeks, when I went by mine, one leaf here, one leaf there. One leaf there, one leaf there. I said, nah boy, let me stick to Pundit. Some people are born with the hand to plant. And some people are born with the hand for something else. There's a saying, even back home, and I believe in Guyana as well, some people have the hand for the trees and the plants, that if you pick a flower or you pick from that tree, it flourishes. And some people, if you touch the tree alone, next day the tree, mar gaya. That is it right there. So nowadays, there are certain people, when they plant their flowers, and people come to pick flowers, you say, no, I will pick it for you. Don't come and pick my flowers outside. If you want, ask me, I will pick it for you. Because people are careful now. Some people might take your flowers or might pick your fruits, and after that, next week, tree, yeah, funeral time. The tree is gone. Everybody has been born to do something different. Everybody has their task. Everybody has their role and their duty. Everybody has their means. We mentioned briefly last night, everybody's role and their task. Not everybody may be able to pick up a dholak and just play. Meanwhile, there might be some who might take a class for the next 5 years and still they can't play. Not so? There might be some people who might try to play an instrument, and maybe for years they go into a class, and even then they still won't have the knack of the instrument. Whereas you might see a child, look at this little child there. Were you eating, boy? What's his name? Aryan? How old is he? 5? And every night he has been singing a bhajan. And I looked tonight, he sang bhajan, no book. Everything right there. And he sang it, and he's 5 years old. And sometimes you see us sitting like this and we are 50 years old. And we still can't get it. Because some people are born for some things. And some people, they are born for different things. Nobody's lower in any way. We are all equal and unique in our own way. Find your uniqueness and perfect it. It is easy. When you find your uniqueness and you perfect it, then you fall in your path. Today when Lord Shiva looks at her, Lord Shiva is about to change his form. And he's about to turn into a Vaish. Meaning to say he looks like one of these people, like a farmer, who is about to now go into his garden. And while he's a farmer, he's passing now, he walks in front of the home. And while he's walking in front of the home of this woman, he walks up to the door and he knocks. And when he knocks, she comes outside and she sees now this Vaish is standing there. She looks at him and she says, "Kya hua?" He says, "Maiya, I'm hungry and thirsty. Do you have something you can give me?" She says, "I don't have anything right now." But then she looks at him and he has a jewel on his hand. There's a band that he came with on his hand with a little jewel stud. She looked at the stud and she says, "Hey, where did you get that from? That looks so nice. It is shining so beautiful. Where did you get that from?" He says, "I got it from a long time now. I can't tell you, but I have it for a very long time." She says, "Well, I like what you have there. Can I have it?" And he says to her, "Do you know how long I've kept this? I can't just give it to you. Can you pay the price for it?" She says, "I don't know, but you could tell me." He says, "I'm telling you, you can't pay the price for this. This is priceless." And she says, "Well, here's what. This is what I can offer to you. I can be a servant to you for 3 days and 3 nights. I can be a servant, I can be a wife to you, I can be a maid servant, whatever you want. 3 days and 3 nights, but that, I want to have that. I want to wear that. I want to look beautiful. I want that when I use it and I walk everywhere, people should see it. People should notice that I have something that is shining. You ever see when somebody buys something new and they want people to see it how they do? You'll ever see that? When somebody buy a ring and they want you to see that ring, how do they let you see the ring? So here it is, right? And that finger is all over because you must see the ring is there. She wants the world to see what she has. Remember something, we will achieve so many things in the world, but while we achieve, always remember to be humble. Nobody says don't acquire and don't want and don't work hard and don't have the best house and don't have the best vehicle, but whatever you have, always remember to be humble with what you have, because humility is the way of the world. When you're not humble, whatever you acquire and whatever you get, you lose it. Prabhu Ramachandra, he turned to Bhaiya Lakshmana one day. He turned to Lord Hanumanji and he says, Prabhu, I want you to remember to always be humble in the personality that you have. With humility, everything will come your way. Lord Shiva looks at how she's looking at the dazzling effect. And he says to her, so you're ready to be my wife, my slave, my maid servant for 3 days? Okay, let it be. I will give it to you after the 3 days. And while he's preparing for this, Lord Shiva enters the house. And when he enters, he starts to look around. And he wants to see the humility. And first, what does he see? He sees the monkey and he sees the bird. And he walks up to them and he sees the Rudraksha. And while he sees it, he sits for a moment. It is said in Ramayana, in Ramkshetramanas, Prabhu Ramachandra, even though he was the mighty Lord, at one point, he sat down even in grief when he had lost Sita Devi. It is said he came back down to the earth. It takes 1 second of feeling or thinking that you're big, or thinking that you're mighty, or thinking you're better than somebody else. And like we say, when you think you're better than somebody else, God will cut you down to size. In the eyes of God, we are equal. Live with equality with our brothers and sisters. Live together. Live in harmony. Don't ever look down at anybody and think you're better than anybody. Not because probably we have a nice car or a bigger house or something that is fancy, thinking that we are better than anybody. In the eyes of God, we are equal. Remember that. Shri Ram, Shri Ram, Shri Ram, Shri Ram. Everybody. Shri Ramachandra Kripalu Bhaju Mana Arna Bhava Bhaya Dharunam Navakanjalo Chana Kanja Mukha Kanja Para Kanjarunam Shri Ram, Shri Ram. It is said Prabhu Shankar Bholinath, in the form of that Vaishya, he walked into the home and he saw the bird and he saw the monkey. And there now, this woman, she came in, and when she came in, he said to her, well, since you have now said that you will become my maid or my wife or my maid servant or my slave, as we used to say, first, I want you to now tend to my duties. My feet is hurting from walking. I want you to squeeze my foot a little bit. She couldn't question because she wanted that. So, she sat down and she started to squeeze his feet. While she's massaging the feet, it is said he says to her, you know what, I have something in a bag. I want to take it out. He pulls out the lingam and he takes the lingam and he gives it to her. Can you please put this one side? Be careful. I pray to this lingam. Take care of it. Protect it with your life. And she gets up and she goes into the center of her home and she fixes that lingam on top of a pedestal. And when she fixes it there, she walks back and she says, look where the lingam is. It is in the middle where there's nothing. It will be safe. Don't worry. And she comes back now and she starts to massage the feet. Shri Ram, Shri Ram, Shri Ram, Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki. She fixes the lingam and she goes back and she says now, she says, there is Vaishya. I've fixed your lingam properly, nothing will go wrong with it. Let me remind some devotees sometimes who may not know. When you fix your lingam in your home or you fix your lingam in your yard, the lingam will be supported by what we call the yoni. That is called the yoni, the base of the lingam. When you're about to make an offering on top of the lingam, you're supposed to be facing what direction? East. But the flow of the offering that falls on yoni is supposed to go which direction? Yes. It must go north. It must not go south. It must not go west. You must face east, and when you make that offering, that flow of water must fall or flow, or even the milk, it must flow in the northern direction. When you have a lingam in your home, and that lingam is sharpened, or prayer or mantra is said to put down the lingam, it's not supposed to move from there. The minute you lift it and you move it, you lift all the energies. If you have a lingam in your yard, then you're supposed to ensure that there's a cover for the lingam as well, and water should be dripping on that lingam throughout. That is the proper way of keeping a Lord Shiva. So if you don't have it like that, it means that Lord Shiva is there, but he may be disrespected because he's not treated well. The purpose of the lingam, or the form in which Lord Shiva took, was to always be calm while water was always falling on him. So water is supposed to be falling. So some devotees must make a little stand or set up something, or some devotees put a pipe and they put something to just drip little by little. But you must ensure that water is always falling on that lingam. And where should it flow? North. Today, friends, she places the lingam in the middle of the hallway. She goes back to massage the feet. And while she's massaging, afternoon has done, and in the night time now, they're about to go take their rest. And Lord Shiva is about to perform his magic now. Lord Shiva realizes that she's running after the wealth or the physical things that she has seen, and she has been praying so much. The more you pray is the more humble you're supposed to become. Some people, the more they praise, the more big they feel. Some people, the more they praise, the more swell-headed they feel. But in reality, the more you pray and the more you worship God and the more you feel that vibe, is the more humble you're supposed to become. So today, Lord Shiva is about to test her. It says, Ut jaga musafir bhora bai ab rehna kaha jo sovat hai. Wake up to the reality of the world. Wake up to the things of the world. Don't just sit there. Time is going. We mentioned that on the first night. Before you know it, people are dying and people are leaving and people, they disappear from our path and our lives. While you're here, wake up your mind and your energy. There are people who wish to be in satsang and they're not given the opportunity. There are people, sometimes back home I will be I would get a call maybe to go to the hospital to say a prayer for someone who's dying. And while you're walking through the hospital just to go and say a prayer for that person, you see people who are lying on a bed and some don't even have a feet, and they say, if I could have walked, I would have come. You see some people who are lying there and probably they don't have hands, and they say, if I could have come, I would have real clap. You see some people who can't even speak, and they say, if I could only say something, you know. They're thinking it out because they can't say it. Appreciate what you have. Appreciate the moments you have. Tonight we are blessed. To all those who are here, how does it go? Many are called. After the live last night, you know how many people even commented, we wish that we were there for the Yagna? Do you know how many people around the world said that they wish they could be here? And we are lucky and fortunate to be here. Wake up on the inside. Don't just sit there. Sing, clap, wake up your energies, because we are lucky and we are blessed. उत जाग मुसाफिर भोर भई, अब रह न कहा जो सोवत है। उत जाग मुसाफिर भोर भई, अब रह न कहा जो सोवत। से आके खोल जरा और अपने से जान लगा। जो काल करना है आज कर ले, जो आज करना है अब कर ले। जो काल करना है आज कर ले, जो आज करना है अब कर ले। जब चिड़ियों ने चुग के टलिया, फिर पछताया क्यों होवत। It is said in Wakatha tonight, Lord Shiva is about to test her. Lord Shiva, he opens the third eye. And as the third eye opens, out of the third eye of Lord Shiva, a flame emanates. It is said in the beginning of Mahashiva Puran, when Lord Shiva became angry, he opened the third eye and he burned down the entire place. He opened the third eye and a fire is then shone. The fire is emitted from the eye of the Lord, and immediately it hits at the walls, it hits at all the curtains that are there, and suddenly now the fire starts to blaze, and it starts to blaze and to burn this home that she has. And while the fire is blazing, the fire starts to travel. And where is it going? It goes above where the lingam is, and it burns all the wood and all the rooftops. And everything crashes down on top of the lingam. When the sound is heard, both of them, Lord Shiva knows what he's doing, but they get up at that point to see what is happening. And when they got up, what did she witness? She saw that where the lingam was, everything has been burned and destroyed. And this Vyas, or this Vaishya, he turned to her, and it is said tears started to roll down his eyes. And he says, because of you, I've come here. And look what has happened with my lingam. I told you to safeguard it. And look at what has happened. What will we do? And what will I do without my Lord and my lingam? What will you do without God in your life? Ut jaga musa Ki Jai. Lord Shiva creates a fire and he starts to burn down the entire house. And while it is burning, the top of the house falls on top of the lingam. And immediately he gets up and he looks at and he starts to point a finger. It is because of you I came here. I told you to cherish this lingam that I have. And look what is happening. What will I do without God in my life? What will you do without God in your life? Do you know if God wills it and he snaps a finger and he says tomorrow you will not get up, you will never get up. If God wills it that tomorrow when you open your eyes you won't be able to move a hand or a foot, you can never move it. Everything happens by the will of God. Always be grateful for what you have. Remember the saying that older people say. When you complain about things in your life, remember that there's people who are going through worse than you. There are always people going through worse than you. We complain about the little and the pettiest things of the world, but there's always someone who have more than you have. Today when she sees this Vaishya crying and now saying to her, what will I do without my God? She doesn't know what to say to him. She says, I don't know how to help you now because I can't even bring back your lingam for you. And he says, you know what, without God it doesn't make sense I remain alive. It's best I burn this body also, because if I can't use this body to pray to the God that I've loved, what is the use of this body? Tonight, let me ask you, if you haven't in this world become aware that your life must be dedicated to God, then what is your purpose? Some people live a robotic life. You know what is a robotic life? We get up in the morning, we take a bath, or we brush our teeth, we eat something, we get dressed, we go to work, we go to school, we have a full day, we come back home, we look at a little bit of television, we eat something again, we do our homework, we do some chores, we go to sleep, wake up next morning, part 2 again. Robotic lifestyle. Not many people incorporate prayer and God in their life. I've met many youngsters and even some of the elders where I've asked, when last did you say a prayer? And they say, well, we had a Jandi the last 2 years, I think. Yeah, that's when I pray. That is why when I see the younger ones taking part, I feel happy. Teach our younger ones to pray. Long ago, when I was small, just like all the younger ones, whenever the afternoon would come, 6 o'clock in the afternoon, my grandmother will say, go light the diya. I'm still small, don't worry. And when you go to light the diya, as a child, you need to learn to say that prayer. What is the prayer? Siddhi Bodhi Prade Devi. You know this one? Maha. Yeah, you had to learn this. And when you go about in the world today and you ask a child to say any prayer for you, sometimes I go to one Jandiya Puja and I see a little youngster and I say a prayer for me. I don't know any. We need to start teaching our little ones prayer so that our culture will not be lost. We need to start teaching them how to pray and how to make an offering and how to sing like this little sadhu here. We need to teach them from small how to clap, how to play an instrument, how to take part in their culture, because it is God that will give us the motivation and the inspiration to go further. The elders are doing what they can to keep the mandir running and to keep the mandir active and doing everything that we can do, but we also need to pull up the younger ones, because one day they are the ones who will have to run things. We have to teach them while we can. Today in our scripture, this Vaishya, he looks at and he says, what will I do with this body now? It doesn't make sense. I will have to go and burn this body. Please, let's go outside and let us set up a fire and let's burn this body. It doesn't make sense. And she doesn't know what to do. She's confused. Well, I don't know what to do, so come, let me help you. I am so sorry I allowed you to come, and now that you've lost your lingam, I don't know. If this is what you want, I must help you then. So she's setting up a fire, and before he could walk into the fire and burn himself, he says, remember what your promise was to me? You wanted to get this jewel, and for 3 days and 3 nights you promised that you will live this life dedicated to me like a wife, like a maidservant, or like a slave. In case you don't remember, we are still in these 3 days period. And if you're like a wife to me, you must fulfill fulfill the duty. Yeah. In some parts of India long ago, when two people become married, now this is not practiced nowadays anymore, but long ago, thousands of years ago, whenever husband and wife, they come together, if a husband were to die, the wife would have said, what is my duty in the world if my Lord has left? While you burn him, I will walk into the fire too. Any wife will do that nowadays? Which wife gonna do that? Jai Bhagavan. Nowadays things get different. Nowadays when the husband lie down in the fire, they say, thank God. Tables have turned. Thousands of years ago, that's what they would have said. What is the use of being alive if the Lord that I have lived with and I worship so much, He's not here anymore? I might as well walk into the fire. Nowadays is a whole different story. In our Katha, when the Vaishya, Lord Shiva's incarnation, turns to, he says, well, now you must practice the tradition because you have dedicated 3 days to me. She looks and she says, you know what? You're right, I give a promise. When you give a promise, you must. How many people keep it? Do you know how many people say, yeah, don't worry, Yagna, I go come. I promise, don't worry, I'll come there one night. Yagna done, Panditji gone back to Trinidad, and they say, when is the Yagna again? How many people say, you know what, I will be there, I will support, I will help, I'll probably bring prasad, I'll give something, I will assist. Yagna finish. Jai Bhagwan. Well, next one. Raghukula Riti Sada chali aaye, Prana jaye varo vachan na jaye. Your word is your life. If you can't keep your word, then who are you really? Your word is like your character. Your word is like your personality. Your word defines who you are. A person who can't keep their word, you can't even trust them. A person who can't keep their word, they have lost their character in the world. Prabhu Ram, for one word, went for 14 years in a forest. Today, listen. Shri Rama Jai Rama Jai Jai Rama Shri Rama Jai Rama Jai Jai Rama Shri Rama Jai Rama Jai Jai Rama Shri Rama Jai Rama Jai Jai. Where the hands rise? Shri Ram Jai Rama. Everybody boliye. Shri Ram Jaya. Shri Ram Jaya. Jaya Jaya Rama. Shri Rama Jaya Rama. Jaya Jaya Rama. Shri Rama Jaya Rama. Jaya Jaya. Shri Rama Jaya Rama. Jaya Jaya Rama. Shri Gajanana Swami ki Jai. Always keep your word. That day, when she saw this Vaishya entering the fire, she said, you know what? My word is my word. I might as well. She decided to step into the fire. And while she's about to step into the fire, first, the Vaishya walks in. And when he walks in, the fire starts to blaze, and he simply walks in, and he walks through the other side unharmed. And while he's walking on the other side, it is said at that point now, she decides that she will walk into the fire and she will burn herself alive, just to keep her word and her promise. And while she's about to make that promise and walk into the fire, it is said, lo and behold, from the skies, Parvati Mata, she sees the trick of the Lord, and she sees what the Lord is about to do. And while she sees what is taking place, it is said she looks down, she comes down in mid-air, and she calls some of the gods and the devatas to see what is about to take place. And while she's about to step in, just before she puts her foot into the fire, Prabhu Shankar Bholinath, he realizes her dedication, her prayer, her humility. He realizes that she's dedicated, she's persistent to her devotion. And this is no ordinary devotee, but she truly loves the Lord. And right there and then, he decides to change back his form into his original form of Mahadev. And while she's about to put that foot, it is said she sees in front of the fire the incarnation of our Lord. She starts to see the jata on the head. She starts to see his form as he's standing there, and he's holding the trishul. And when she looks at him, she realizes that this has been a test of the Divine Lord. She steps back down, and Devi Mata comes from the skies, and she says, Devi, today you have been tested by your Lord. Today you have been tested, but you are blessed. And because of your dedication to Mahadev, you will no longer remain on the earth, but you will go with us to Kailash Parvat. You will join us, and you will be one of the Ganars, and you will always be able to touch the feet of Mahadev. Umapati Mahadeva ki Jai, Vrindavan mein Hari Lal ki. Shankara Shiva, Shankara Shiva, Shambhu Mahadeva, Shankara Shiva. Lord Shiva will test you. He will break you. He will try to see how far and how much you're willing to go when it comes to prayer. How many of us are dedicated enough to go the extra mile to get that blessing? Shankara Shiva, Shankara Shiva, Shambhu Mahadeva, Shankara Shiva, Shankara Shiva, Shankara Shiva, Shankara Shiva, Shankara Shiva, Shambhu Mahadeva, Shankara Shiva, Shambhu Mahadeva, Shankara Shiva. Everybody follow. Shankara Guru, Shankara Guru, Shankara Guru, Shankara Guru, Shankara Bhagavat Para, Shankara Guru, Shankara Bhagavat Para, Shankara Guru. Shankara Shiva, Nandevana, Shankara Shiva. Kumsumapati Mahadeva ki. With this, my friends, we end our beautiful message tonight. Remember, in life, when you want to achieve something, when you want to achieve a goal or you want to reach any heights of the world, remember God will always test you. For all the younger ones, sometimes you're ready to give up. Because if we don't get things the easy way, we're ready to just give up. But God will test you and He will break you and He will spin you in all different directions. The endurance is what is important. How long you're willing to stand and to hold up. If you're able to, by the blessings of God, one day, the good things will come. The light will be seen. And whatever you wish to achieve, you will achieve it. Don't give up too soon. Shrumapati Mahadeva ki Jai. As we end our message, at this time, let us all stand now for a beautiful arati. Brahma Vishnu Sadashiva Ardange Dhara. Brahma Vishnu Sadashiva Ardange Dhara. Jai Shiva Omkara Baba Har Shiva Omkara. Jai Shiva Omkara Baba Har Shiva Omkara. Har Har Mahadeva. Ekanana Ekanana Chaturanana Panchanana Raje. Ekanana Chaturanana Panchanana Raje. Pancasana Garurasana Vishavahana Sadhu. Om Hara 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 Mahadev. Om Hara 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 Mahadev. Satyam Shivam Sundaram. Satyam Shivam Sundaram. Hare Bam Bam Bola. Bhuja char chatur bhuja ras bhuja te sohi. Bhuja char chatur bhuja ras bhuja te sohi. Tino rupa niragata trivona janamo. Om Hara 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 Mahadev. Om Hara 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 Mahadev. Satyam Shivam Sundaram. Satyam Shivam Sundaram. Bam Bam Bola. Hara 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 Mahadev. 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 Tvameva Mata Cha Pita Tvameva. Tvameva Bandhuscha Sakha Tvameva. Tvameva Vidya Dravinam Tvameva. Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva. Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva. Om Shanti Shanti. स्वामीनाथा सच्चिदानंदा जय गुरुनाथा सच्चिदानंदा स्वामीनाथा सच्चिदानंदा जय गुरुनाथा सच्चिदानंदा। हम सब है तेरे बच्चे स्वामी, हम सब है तेरे बच्चे स्वामी, तू है हमारा विधाता स्वामी नाथा, तू है हमारा विधाता स्वामी नाथा। जीवन भर कर सुमिरन तेरा, जीवन भर कर सुमिरन तेरा, घड़ी घड़ी पल पल नाम लू तेरा, घड़ी घड़ी पल पल नाम लू तेरा। पर दे ऐसा दाता स्वामी नाथा, पर दे ऐसा दाता स्वामी नाथा। राधे राधे गोविंद राधे, राधे राधे गोपाल राधे, राधे राधे गोविंद राधे, राधे राधे, राधे राधे गोपाल राधे, राधे राधे, राधे राधे गोविंद राधे, राधे राधे, राधे राधे गोपाल राधे, राधे राधे, राधे राधे गोविंद राधे, राधे राधे, राधे राधे गोपाल राधे, राधे राधे, राधे राधे गोविंद राधे, राधे राधे, राधे राधे गोपाल राधे, राधे राधे, राधे राधे गोविंद राधे, राधे राधे, राधे राधे गोविंद राधे, राधे राधे, राधे राधे गोपाल राधे। राधे राधे गोविंद राधे, राधे राधे, राधे राधे गोपाल राधे, राधे राधे, राधे राधे गोविंद राधे, राधे राधे, राधे राधे गोपाल राधे, राधे राधे, राधे राधे गोपाल राधे, राधे राधे, राधे राधे गोपाल राधे, राधे राधे। ओम शांति 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 हरि ओम। वृंदावन में हरिलाल की, उमापति महादेव की जय, पवन सुत हनुमान की जय, सत्य सनातन धर्म की जय। जय सीताराम। आसन लीजिए सब लोग, let us all take our seats. As we take our seats, may the blessings of our Lord be with each and every one.